Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be tackling the subject of worry, ever prevalent in our culture. Worrying is not only a common issue, it is a consequential one. Hair loss, decreased immunity, and headaches are some of the side effects. Here are a couple tips that will hopefully help you better deal with your worry. The first tip I have for you guys is to think mathematically. Now, you might be a little bit confused on that, understandably so, but what I mean is think in terms of an equation. There are some math equations that have different variables, and based on the value of the variable, the outcomes could be many different things. If you have a presentation due in about 3 hours, for example, you could run and hide, which would lead to a disaster. You could go practice it, you could talk to a friend. There are so many different things you can do. Planning out your next action and your next step, things you can do to overcome your obstacles, will really help you deal with your worry, because oftentimes the root of worry is from a fear of the unknown. So if you have something realistic, or at least a spectrum to go off of, you will be dealing less with abstract concepts and have a real plan to go off of. Tip number 2 is find people you can trust and talk about your worries. So this includes parents, friends, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever, you name them. Though I don't know exactly how this works, I can tell you from personal experience that just the act of talking and getting your problems out verbally can really help you see the perspective. You just see your circumstances in a whole new light when you try to recreate them for someone else. The next tip I have for you guys is set realistic goals for yourself. Oftentimes, worry is a result of feeling inadequate about being able to accomplish what you would like to accomplish. Setting standards too high for yourself can cause unnecessary stress. If you have any kind of anxieties or fears related to performance, like test anxiety, fear of public speaking, etc., I would strongly recommend this next one to you. Watch or read things that make you laugh, things you find funny, like memes, clean preferably, videos, articles, whatever it is. Find something that makes you laugh. Laughter is a great distraction from current problems, and that's part of why comedies are so popular. My 5th tip for you guys is think of others or pray for someone. Most commonly when you're worrying, you're thinking of yourself and yourself only. If you do pray for someone, I know they'd feel honored. Prepare as much as you reasonably can beforehand, especially if it's a presentation or a competition for something. Prepare, gather your research, gather your information, gather whatever you need to gather before it's time to actually perform. Having something second nature and having practiced it enough times will boost your confidence, and you will be less likely to falter. However, there is such a thing as over-preparing, which is why it's important to realize that you can only do so much. Whatever happens is God's will, and He has it worked out all for our good. God sometimes allows us to fail to show us how great His love is when we do fail, and how much sweeter the victory is when we succeed. One of the most practical things you can do is power pose. It is what it sounds like. Make some sort of heroic pose, whatever that may look like for you, and do it facing a mirror. It's psychologically shown to work, even though I don't know how it works. Our brains are just created amazingly, but it works. Last tip for you guys is leave your pride behind. A presentation can become so much more stressful if you're worried about not only performing well, but preserving your ego. Remembering that God already has a plan and it's going to be great for you in the end really takes the pressure off of you to perform well in that moment and just puts you at peace. Also remember that the people in the room will probably not remember any mistakes you made in the next 10, 15, 20 years even, and if they do, you'll probably be laughing over it. On a final note, Matthew 6:34 says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you found these tips helpful and that you were encouraged by this video. If you were, please give it a like. We would really appreciate that.